Hey, it's Walt. Happy Saturday, all right? And today I'm here with a Saturday edition of Daily Free Sports Bets. Today's going to be the day that I provide the most bets so far this week. The last 2 days, some of the bets, just kind of head scratchers. Thursday night we had two games that were supposed to go over. They started off going over without a shadow of a doubt. They should have went over, but then the second half they kind of, lost focus in one game, kind of slowed down the pace in another game. Then yesterday you had two ranked teams, one at home that should have covered by two touchdowns easily, but they didn't. They won, but they didn't cover. Then you had another team on the road that should have been able to win by at least 11 points. They won, but they didn't cover. That one, it could have went either way because they were on the road. So, but that Oregon game, that left a lot to be desired, right? But anyway, we're gonna throw away the bad juju, and we're gonna flip it around to a winning streak. All right. So we lost those four games in the last 2 days. So we're gonna turn around and we're gonna try to win four games today. All right. So the first bet, we're gonna go with the Cincinnati Bearcats minus 21.5. The third ranked Bearcats will be at home versus the slumping UCF Knights. The Bearcats are the fourth best college football team in points allowed, allowing only 8.5 points at home. They are also number 7 in points scored, averaging 50.5 at home. In years past, this matchup has been a lot more competitive, but with the strong play of the Bearcats this year, offensively and defensively, and not to mention the Knights have lost, Dylan Gabriel to a broken collarbone a couple weeks ago, almost close to a month now, when they played the end of that Louisville game that they lost. All right. So you got a Knights that are 0-4 at the spread in their last four road games, and you have a Bearcats who are 4-0 in their last four games in October at the spread. Another thing that I haven't placed a bet on this, but I would not be surprised if the over was 50. It went over 56. I could easily see, a Cincinnati team putting 50 plus points on the board, and I mean, UCF is going to score at least a touchdown or two. But I definitely like this to go Bearcats minus 21.5 at home. All right. Next bet, Michigan State -4. The 10th ranked Spartans will be on the road versus an Indiana Hoosiers team who is 0-2 in the conference and 2-3 overall. The last ranked team that came into Indiana was the Cincinnati Bearcats last month, who beat them 38-24. I can see a similar score for the Spartans versus Indiana today. All right. Third bet, Ole Miss versus Volunteers, Tennessee Volunteers, over 82 points. Now, this is a lot of points, but you have two hot teams offensively. Both of these teams are in the top 10 in points scored. Ole Miss has hit the over in four of their last five games, and Tennessee has done the same likewise. Ole Miss gives up 31 points. They will be on the road. The Volunteers don't give up as much points, but when I look at their schedule, I don't. This by far will be the most prolific scoring team they have faced. So I expect this to be a shootout. All right. Now we're going to go to one last bet, and it's got to be Alabama money line. All right. This, I would have went with the -17, but since this is these four bets, I'm splitting up into single bets and one parlay, and a couple of parlays, and one big parlay. So I didn't feel comfortable with putting in that spread necessarily for Alabama, but I definitely like them to win that game. It's interesting because Alabama just lost to a Texas A&M team that, before Mississippi State's bye week, they beat. So you got two teams about to face each other who were on the opposite ends of the scoreboard when they faced that Texas A&M team. And I definitely think, I would have been more concerned if, this was last week that, Mississippi State had beat Texas A&M, and they were about to play Alabama at home. But since, there's been a week, they've been on a bye. I think a lot of that excitement has worn down. Alabama is definitely going to want to bounce back after that loss. So I think they go in there and they win. I mean, they probably will win soundly, but I didn't want to mess up that parlay with the Alabama money line. Well, with the Alabama spread. So I went with the money line. All right. Good luck. Happy betting. And most importantly, never bet more than you can afford to lose.